Yo, and we're back.
We are live.
Welcome back to Monday Cinema Club on Dante Bosco.
This is Alice Rahmatullah for my Chinese fans. 大家好，欢迎来到我们的电影俱乐部 for my Uyghur fans. Yaxşımızlar bizden kino kulübümüzü keginler karşımız. Nasılsın Bahargil? For everybody.
Hello, what's up? Uncle John's in the house.
Uncle
How you
John.
doing? Kyra Alexander, how you doing? Gibby,
Hi, Finn.
DLR, what's
Finn.
going on? And Taskmaster 25, welcome to Monday Cinema Club. Monday Cinema Club for people who's joining in. We discuss movies, me and Alice, every
Hashtag
Monday.
Dallas. What did I saw? Dallas. I like that.
Shout out to Patrick O'Sullivan.
Patrick. Is that Patrick? What's up, Patrick?
What's up, Tink? I see Meg's Drake in the house. What's going down? And this month is Black History Month. And so we decided to start our movie cinema club this week off with the movie The Color Purple. For people that have never joined us for cinema club, explain to us what cinema club is.
So if this is the first time, if you're first time joining us, don't get surprised.
We're talking about movies.
We're talking about the movies. So it's just like a book club, basically. Like you read a book and you just want to discuss with your friends, whatever. So we're filmmakers. Dante is nominated director. Is it good news? Should I announce it?
We don't know yet. No, they haven't announced it yet. But we'll let you guys know soon.
Let you guys know.
You'll get me in trouble.
He's a director, producer, actor. I'm actor, producer, director.
Yes.
So we're all filmmakers, so we love film, so we want to watch the film since we're watching film every single day. So we want to share our experience with you guys.
And you guys out there can
like
watch movies with us, and we bring you guys in.
Absolutely.
There's always 2 VIP guests to start the show and to end the show.
Yeah.
So we have 2 coming in, and then anyone who's watched the film with us throughout the week are welcome to come and join us.
Welcome and join us, talk about it. If you don't like it, if you like it, there's no judgment.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong. So
it's not like we're professors. We don't know about the answers. We're just movie lovers.
We don't know.
Like a lot of people out there.
You just dropped my phone.
How did I drop the phone? My phone. We're watching on my phone. I didn't drop the phone. You dropped the phone.
Well, he dropped it. You guys, he just
I didn't drop the phone.
And then,
yo, also I just saw happy birthday to Chris out there.
Happy birthday, Chris.
First time watching What's Up. I see people from all around the world. I saw someone said they're from Persia. The people watch us all around the world, and we appreciate that, and we think it's made it crazy.
I know, it's so great. I mean, it means a lot to us, like kind of like interesting way to connect it. I know it's social media, it's like really crazy, but however, we would love to like distract.
Hi Nicole,
yes.
What's up D-Way sisters? How y'all doing?
D-Way sisters in the town.
Yeah, D-Way sisters in the house.
And then so it's fun things to do for us, especially.
Yeah.
Like we just share our experience and talk about movies instead of some other stuff.
So Fayath is from the Netherlands. Shout out to the Netherlands.
Fayath.
Where's everybody from? I see a lot of people from all over. I see people from the Bay Area, where I'm from, originally Pittsburgh, California. Shout out to the Bay Area.
Pittsburgh, California. That's the first town.
What's that mean?
Say.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Chi-Town's in the house. I know this B-Way sisters in Chi-Town. How y'all doing? Well, this week,
it is, since it's Black History Month, we decided to do movie Color, The
Color Purple.
Color Purple. So
there's so much to talk about this movie. Let's just jump into the movie because I'm interested. I can't wait. Zimbabwe's in the house. Florida's in the house. Portland, Oregon, Virginia, New Hampshire. I saw Houston, Chicago, but
New
from
York,
Baltimore, but from
Sacramento,
Chicago. Oh my
San
goodness.
Diego. Whoa,
Netherlands, more Netherlands people.
Netherlands.
Shout out Long Island, New York. What's poppin'?
New York, Pittsburgh, PA.
I'm from Pittsburgh with no H. Pittsburgh, CA. That's Pittsburgh, PA. Melbourne, Australia.
Orange County, California.
Cheers to you, mate. Not Melbourne.
No Spaniel.
From Brazil. What's up?
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
International. I like that.
There's a flag right there. You know where that flag's from? I can't tell what that flag is from.
Where's that
I'm
flag
into
from?
it. Colorado.
I
don't know where that flag is from. Christian Helen. I don't know where that flag is. Want to take a guess? Want to take a guess on that flag?
Do you want to guess?
I don't know. I can't tell. Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Thank goodness we would have said something crazy. Shout out to DR. Westchester, New York, Santa Cruz.
Wow.
All day
Hola,
Hola, Mexico. So thank you guys for joining us.
I know.
But let's get in the Philippines, of course, and Ireland. And another flag that I don't know. God, we're really bad Americans that don't know flags from other countries.
I'm not American. I'm about to.
You're about to. Ozzy. Oi. Artex, Atreyu, what's going on? Turkey in the house.
Wow, turkey.
Okay, so I'm excited to get in this film because we watched this movie. Let's be honest, when I put the movie on, Alice was not happy about watching this movie. You were like, why are we watching this movie?
Because it's, to be honest, super disturbing to watch in the beginning.
Yeah, it's part of our American history. It's really messed up.
It's like, it's disturbing. My body hurts. It's like beginning of the movie.
Who wants to start? You want me to start? You want to start? I want you to start.
I thought I already started.
Start.
Then why are you interrupting me? All right, we're going to keep it cool, okay? Guys, Alice is always yelling in the house, but all right, let me talk. You want me to
I haven't even said anything for 7 minutes.
Okay, salam.
Kenya.
So, well, in the beginning of the movie, to be honest, it's really disturbing. It's really like painful to watch it. And then I'm a woman, and then I know how that feel. Like it's shame. And then in the middle of the movie, there is a fun part. You got entertained and you laugh at the same time.
Great song.
Beautiful,
Sister.
beautiful shots.
Sister.
The mood. I know, it's so great.
The juke joint. Hey, yeah.
And then end of the movie, like Act 2, like beginning of Act 3 is so much conflict, so much like question, concern, what should do. Like it's just so much question you ask yourself as a human. Like what the F? Like how do we ended up in this position? Like treating each other.
There's a
like
lot of
that.
rough moments in the movie,
and then
for sure.
It is not a lot. Like beginning of the end, it's like a lot of rough moment at the same time. It's entertaining, like fun. Like character is so much fun. You follow with the characters in the second. You follow love.
I saw tears in your eyes by the end of the movie.
I cried. Yes, I cried. That movie made me cry.
I'm glad.
I'm the girl, like, I hate, like, crying. Like, I know it's not a wrong thing to do, but I'm the girl, I don't like to cry. Especially in public. Especially with somebody else who's very judgmental.
I'm not judgmental. So, cry away.
I cried.
Cry your little eyes out.
I cried.
I cried too.
So, did you?
No, but I felt like crying inside. My body. I didn't cry outside the body, but inside I cried.
I cried. Like, I can't hold it. It's so much emotion. Like, this is a movie, like, I feel like I watched it and it makes me want to like be actor again. Like I want to be actor. I want to be filmmaker. Like I want to do this more. Like I want to do like this is like a motivation and this is engine. This is a gas for my engine. Period.
Are you done?
So directed
Can
by.
I say? Well, it's directed by Steven Spielberg, starring.
Oprah Winfrey.
Well, it was a star maker. Let's put it that way.
She's a
Whoopi
star.
Goldberg.
She's a
Oprah
star.
Winfrey became superstars after this movie. I mean, Danny Glover had been working for a lot of years, but he also, it was really great for him also. Can I talk now?
Oh yeah, sure.
So, directed by Steven Spielberg. What I want to say about this movie is amazing. I mean, it was super epic. I don't know how exactly it's felt years later. I remember watching it as a kid and feeling that it was a very important film. And then watching it again, it felt very important watching it again. There's a lot of different dynamics of the film. I mean, first and foremost, this film is a woman's story. It's really, the three women's stories during this time.
Three absolutely different.
Absolutely different. Celie, who played by Whoopi Goldberg, is very soft-spoken. Someone who's been abused her whole life, from her father to the man she marries to the kid she's raising to even anyone in that. She had one sister that she got disconnected from, and she for her whole life she was told she was ugly and she was worth nothing and she is nothing. And the movie's kind of is kind of like bolted around her storyline and her overcoming that, and thank God for happy ending, because she lived a rough life. But then the other two women in the story, which really tell their stories too, is Shug Avery, who played that? I don't know the name. And she was a singer in that time.
Margaret Avery.
Oh yes, Margaret Avery. So she was she was more the kind of like artistic, beautiful, was living in that time, in that community.
Driven. Like
and
her more focus on her career.
the ups and downs of what that life brings during that time. And anytime, it's really a feminist movie to a degree. And then there was Sophia, played by Oprah Winfrey, who was the outspoken, brash woman of the time. It was just so amazing to watch her on the screen and who she was and what she brought to the role. But also the pain that you know, the pain, all these women, 3 different type of women going through, you know, just
their difficulties.
Women in the world, but specifically women in,
especially in that
time. I mean,
time,
of course, the African American women during that time, but just women in that time is how they're being treated by men and by society, and the pains they have to go through to just survive.
Exactly, and then
it was intense.
Right
the movie
now,
was
I'm looking back,
super intense.
Exactly. After that's like a history-based movie. Like it's the history. It's our history. Like right now, I'm looking at like some like news, whatever the bullshit people talking about. I mean, excuse my language.
on the string?
BS. I'm not swearing. I say BS. So people talking about like systematic racism doesn't exist. I was like, what?
Yes, of course. The Black history aspect of the film is very important.
Systematic racism, it exists. Like,
okay, all right, but let's not get political.
I don't want to get political, but how you're not going to talk about the politics?
But even feminism, which is just systematic sexism,
racism, and then they treat the woman like as a second citizen.
They treat the woman like property,
as an object property. Like this is crazy. You know, some part of the world still exists like that. Do you know?
I do know.
People and the women in some part of the country, they still like treat the woman like that.
I know.
Do you though?
I do know things, Alice.
I'm not sure about
and then, I mean, and I can't wait to get everyone else's conversations in here, but I also love the filmmaking. I mean, just as a director, writer, producer, you know, sometimes when we make film and art, you always, you know, don't know if you're really getting your DNA in the project, because it's not like a painting or a song where it's like, you know, that's the way you stroke, that's the way. But when you watch Steven Spielberg films, we watched a few Steven Spielberg films.
This is not first one, yeah. It's
We've seen Hook. We saw a few things. What else we watched? We watched a lot of stuff like, but just for Cinema Club, I'm not sure the other films, but you can even see in this film, which is an African American film that he directed during the 20s, period piece. Really hard film, but even throughout all these hard issues and these really intense storylines, Steven Spielberg isms are like throughout the film, like his humor and his jokes and the way his transitions, and you could still feel the flow and the music.
The transaction, the camera moment that dissolve into that one slow.
But his lightheartedness that kind of like gets you through the film.
Get you through
and the epicness of the film.
Exactly, it's epicness, and thank God it's like happy.
You keep dropping stuff. You okay?
I don't know.
Is this film affecting you in a certain way, Alice? You alright?
I'm losing my mind.
You okay?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so there's so much more to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's people out there.
What is your favorite scene? We haven't talked about our favorite scene.
My favorite scene. I mean,
who's your favorite character? I'm gonna say it first. I'm gonna say it.
Go.
My favorite character is Sophia,
okay.
And
I do like Jazz, Jaden.
My favorite.
I love Jazz.
Scene. I love her too. My favorite scene is. Can I say more than one?
Just say one.
Okay, my favorite scene is. It is when the opening scene and ending too. Opening scene when the music starts and an opening like ordinary world, 2 sisters like walk around playing like super charming, in the color purple of the land, farmland, the flower land, super beautiful plantation like farm area. It beautiful, and ending. The same thing, the character go back to that return to ordinary world after this ups, down, challenging, inside and incidents, whatever. And return to ordinary world.
Yeah.
And then the sisters reunite, and the sunset, that shot, and they just playing what is this called?
It's
the game.
Patty cake.
Patty cake game.
Patty cake.
That shot.
Patty cake.
That shot, and then the husband walks away from the back. That's, oh my God, that breaks my heart. a million pieces.
Yeah, Sophia is obviously one of my favorite characters. I love Suge Avery too.
And one of my favorite scenes. And my favorite scene is like when that Mister just tears them out, like to let her throw her outside the house. Don't come to get out from my
sisters up.
Splitting the sister. They're holding their hands so tight.
I remember watching as a kid. It was so heartbreaking. But I also remember the scene where she just gives us a bam. That scene right there, boom. That one, boom. Till you do right by me. She curses him. She hit him with that curse. Till you do right by me. Nothing in your whatever she says. But that's always a powerful moment. And then I love Sister. When she sings Sister, it's emotional too because we're all Celie and we're all like you finally like. You feel like you're this person in the world that just is ugly and no one sees me and no one gets me and I get shit on by everybody. But then it's like this one person is like singing to you and just like sees you and then like motivates you, like you're all makes you feel special. You are loved. You are special. Yes, that part gets me emotional a little bit.
You're not ugly,
sure.
And she was so like
Spencer in the house. What's up, Spence?
And she was like super vulnerable, and she said, "You called me ugly." And said, "Yo, I'm calling you ugly because I'm jealous."
She was kidding. She said she was just joking.
She's kidding. I'm joking, and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So.
No, but that was just such a emotional moment to just everyone feels like they have not been seen in the moment you get like someone sees you is important, especially someone that is
love
that you look up to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it doesn't have to be someone you looked up to.
She was like, Senpai noticed me, and then she noticed him. That was dope.
Sister. That's my favorite scene too, where she sits there and just looking at them with Mister just like tried to make breakfast, like impress her, and burning all the stuff. And
so I love it.
Couldn't even run the kitchen properly.
We're loving the movie. Can we hear from the people? Because I want to talk about it with them.
Okay. Why are you holding your clothes?
Because I was feeling the moment.
All right, I'm gonna put. I mean, a lot of people complaining why we have only 2 reservations, 2 VIP.
Because we want to leave it open for people just that came to come in and talk.
Okay. So, the first VIP guest is Denise Cordova.
Dee's knees.
Dee's knees.
Remember Dee's?
Dee's, do you remember her?
Dee's. Where is it? Hold on a second. Yeah, I thought I did. Denise, are you in the house?
Denise, are you in the house? Can you send us a request or just leave a comment on there?
Yeah, leave a comment. Denise, leave a comment. We're gonna bring you in right now. And we see a bunch of other people we'd like to bring in. We see the B-Way sisters.
We see everyone wants to talk.
Yo, Denise, you in the house? Denise, we can't find you. We don't know where you are.
Where are you at? Where are you at, Denise? Where are you at?
Let me see where they're at. Let me see. Let's see how this works. Denise.
Oh, I think I saw. Here.
Oh, there you go. There she is.
Here. I got you, Denise. I got you.
Denise 420. What's poppin'?
Let's talk.
Rufina,
guys.
what's going on, Rufina?
Let's talk.
Oh, what are you doing? You watching?
I just joined the live stream by accident.
We extra viewers up in here. You gonna join live?
I want to send her a Inception going on.
We're waiting for Denise. Denise, where are you? We here.
Internet is failing us. Dante's internet. Let's talk about Dante's internet.
Let's not talk about my internet. Let's not take a look. I'm gonna cancel this and I'm gonna bring Denise back on one more time. Here we go.
Denise.
Whoa! We're in the house. We made it.
I made it.
I like the purple.
I had to X out of this.
I know.
All right. This is a movie, Denise. This is a big one. This is a big movie. This is a big movie.
Color purple. All right. Drop some knowledge.
Talk to us.
I was stunned. I had
seen it before? Have you seen it?
So no, I have not seen it, and I'm actually
wow.
very, very grateful for this cinema club to have seen it, because it's one of those that's like, you want to watch it, but nobody's like, it's Tuesday, let's watch The Color Purple. Yeah.
Let's go through a very big emotional journey that might fuck us up for a few days, because this is heavy. Like, why are we this bad to each other?
I'm
But
so like sad until the day
but
today.
seeing it honestly was the best experience ever. I mean, like you, Alice, I was sobbing, like ugly girl sobbing, because it was just so powerful.
It's powerful and it's rough. And I think one of the bad things is just we know the truth in it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like, this is, and it's not the truth of blaming this or that. It's us. It's us as people, how bad we are to each other. Like, what is our problem?
We're like predators. We're like evil virus, like to each other. We're
Yeah,
like,
humans are nasty, man. Humans are like the only species that does this type of stuff. Like, what
is wrong with us?
To another human being. Like, to another people. Like, you never seen, like, of course, animals hunt each other.
And they're hungry.
They're hungry.
Right.
And they only ate. They only
We don't know animals that well. We don't know what they're talking about. Though. We don't know what they're talking about.
Animals
They might talk shit about each other. We don't know.
I hear birds talking.
Birds be like, you ain't nothing. Your feathers are all wrinkled and whatever.
But it was a fantastic movie from start to finish. I mean, it was probably the most powerful movie that I've seen in a while, that not only made me think about it like 4 days afterwards. I was just like, oh my gosh, man, like, how can I still be thinking about this movie that's now impacted my life, basically?
Yeah.
What's
your moment? What's your character like? What's the parts that were like hit you?
Oh man, I think you guys hit them all. I really loved the final dinner scene when she finally
stand up for herself.
Exactly. And you see Oprah's character so beaten and torn, and all of a sudden she's just like, finally. Yes.
I think we talked about how with the whole Oprah character with Sophia, it's like, you get into mental health situation where you're like beat down for that long, where you're just comatose.
But I honestly loved her character in the beginning, where she was so like
powerful. Like, she knows exactly what she wants, and she stand up for herself. She's like strong woman. And then this 8 years, 7 years in prison, like this unfair, like disgusting.
It destroyed her.
Made her comatose.
Beat her up.
But a little truth could set you free. A little truth could set you free, which had set her free. But it was amazing too. And I mean, I'm a guy saying this, but like, looking at these women coming from 3 different approaches to life, right? And they all got beat down. They all got beat down heavy.
Yes.
3 different. I was like, the really meek one, the more artistic, flamboyant one, and then the more brash, upfront one. And they all got
beat up.
Women have it hard, man.
And they all got crushed. And it was like, oh my God, this movie is painful. But happy ending. Spielberg came out with a happy ending.
And I mean, happy. Otherwise, I will be depressed for the rest of my life.
Yeah, thank goodness this was a happy ending, because if not, like, I probably things were looking grim there for a second.
Things were looking real grim the whole time. I mean, and we talk about even Danny Glover's character, which is he's a horrible, horrible man. I mean, luckily he's such a brilliant actor. He somehow stays likable.
Yeah.
Through the film, even though you despise the shit he's doing, and then at the end he does, for the love of God, does right by Celie by the end. I mean,
after all,
but I mean, he's a piece of shit through the
That was like
movie.
my whole thing for him too. I was like, I really like you. I really want you to just like start being nice, man. Anytime now, anytime. Come on.
But they're like raping women like it's no problem. Because we rape women, use women.
At the time, that time of the period, it's just a regular, ordinary thing. Like, treat women as a secondary.
There's some place in the world that's acting like that.
Still exists. If you look at the news, some part of the world still treat women as a property, as an object. So, I mean, right now, like his character in that time period and that history background, that's the normal things to do. Like, he's beating women, and they treat a woman as an object.
That stung me so hard.
And then disrespect
Oh my God, when they said to beat Sophia, I mean, it was funny when she
Oh.
came back and she had beat Harpo back.
Yeah, that was one. That was a real touching moment though when Oprah's like going through all the fields and she finds Celie and she's like, "You told him to beat me, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? We're women, man."
I
Like,
know, but Harpo was like, Harpo
yeah.
was worse off than her. He was like, I got kicked by a mule, Dad.
No,
So that don't look like no mule.
that's
That's a
not
mule right
mule.
there. Never hit nobody. Man or
Never
woman.
hit a woman.
Never hit a woman.
Yeah, first.
And if you ever get in a fight, got hit anybody, you better have someone in the back of your mind that you could win that fight. Don't hit nobody, you're gonna lose that fight.
It was
Do it.
it was rough to see, but I also really enjoyed the funny moments. Like,
Yes, that's sort of like
it was so touching. One of my favorite scenes was in the juke joint when obviously, you know, Suge does her whole beautiful song to her, and that like just gave me chills and choked me up
Shimmy.
too.
Yeah.
Oh
was-
my god, that's so
It was
great.
beautiful. But then afterwards, when the fight happened, I really loved that scene because even the musicians were like, "Oh, well, gotta go."
I know, it's like weird when you watch that scene and we watched Hook, like whatever in December. Like there was similarities between like the fighting scenes in Hook and in the fighting. It's like, how does
100%.
Spielberg do that? Like he has this weird Spielbergism stuff.
Yeah.
That's like a director's style. Like,
I know, but it's
way
good to know
to
as a
do-
director that your DNA does make it into the film. You can, you do
Exactly.
craft
That's,
it.
after all, making a film, I think like that's you're choosing your taste, like you choosing your favorite food. After all, like you want to eat something that makes you comfortable. Like just a movie too. Like you're making a dish, you're making your
You're
favorite
talking
dish.
about food?
You're putting something like. You putting something this doesn't mean you put all the good things at the ticket on the one pot. Doesn't mean that's a good dish. So it's Steven Spielberg is super like he's a genius. He put like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, comedy, drama, like everything element, a right amount, and make us as the audience, we saw that movie as a like you eating that dish, you feel all the experience he wants us to experience.
No, it's powerful. The movie was powerful. And it's like,
I can't believe that he directed it either.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, which is, I think he got a lot of, I think he was hesitant to.
I think it was hesitant, but he also, I know Quincy Jones had a big part of the movie,
right?
Being involved with it. So I think he probably, you know, I'm sure he surrounded himself with, because the book, I know the book was a hit book, and he came in to do it and treated it with a lot of respect and got a lot of help to, you know, to make sure
you gotta get the story right. Yeah, with
and at the end of the day, I mean, it's Black History Month, and it gives us an insight on Black history for sure, and respect. But also, I just don't want us to be like away from it because it's us. I mean, even though it's Black history, these are Black stories.
Still America,
but it's us. We're all in that movie somewhere.
It's not only about the Black history movie. This movie, it's about the woman who's struggling in that time period.
For
and
sure.
And
this time period.
And this time period.
Forever struggles.
Exactly. And they try to stand up for themselves and find their voice. And this relationship, with abusive relationship with a husband and a wife, father and a daughter, these kind of abusive relationships still exist in the society. This is not only about the Black Lives Matters. Of course, it's Black Lives Matters, like this history we have to recognize and acknowledge. And beyond that, this is three independent women try to find their voices and make changes. Like it's
She's passionate about it. You're passionate about this movie. Both of you guys are. I love it.
It was for reals, like women empowerment. It's just crazy in this movie. And
I can imagine myself, like, if that back in the day and the women's are sisters.
You would survive. Y'all would survive. You two right now would survive.
Didn't start the revolution.
Which character would you be? Which character would you be?
Sophia, her.
What character would you be?
I will be her.
I don't know. I really like the sister because she kept on. Yeah, I mean, she got out of it, dude. Like she ran.
It was pretty amazing. It was amazing.
Crazy.
But I can't take in. She's. I cried.
That scene when they're kids is too much. That scene when they're kids.
She's just
it's too much.
I can't take it. I'd be like, bam.
I can't imagine. I mean, I can imagine even shooting those scenes are just so re-stimulative for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, I think my hardest sobbing moment was when they finally saw her sister and they're just dressed in the most colorful, beautiful clothes, and she's just like,
it was so beautiful. The whole how he started editing Africa into like the South, and like it was really amazing.
What
really
a
amazing.
Great like transaction. What a great smart way to show, like during this letter, while you're reading and you see visuals back and forth. It is. When can we make that type of movie?
I don't know.
It's definitely one in a million. Like this, if this movie ever gets remade, I'm just slapping everything.
I don't need to.
I think they released the
play, the
musical play.
Right.
The musical.
So 4 weeks ago, they announced it. But I mean,
I'd see it.
I would love to see it.
We'll see, man. We'll see. But I mean, to match Oprah and Whoopi, like that's a hard task, man.
Star makers.
Yeah. Oh, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, young Lawrence. And
I was like, hey, you guys just watched The Matrix the other day. Look at
Lawrence Fishburne was in there. It was good to see Lawrence in there. Denise, always a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you too.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
The best.
I know.
I love talking to her.
Purple.
All right, so let's go. Hashtag purple.
Hashtag purple.
Hashtag purple. Let's bring some people in. Let's talk about what y'all want to talk about in this movie. Danny Glover was amazing, for sure.
If you,
and what
character do you want to play in that movie?
I don't know. I mean,
what do you mean you don't know? You know.
I don't want to play with the character plays Danny Glover character. I don't be that character. That character is horrible. But
don't judge the character.
Hashtag purple. Okay, the first one that popped up is the B-Ways.
B-Ways. We gotta get.
And I work with Danny Glover, and he's amazing. Amazing.
So
dude.
what character you want to be?
I want to be Suge Avery. Hey, B-Ways sisters. We get 3 for 1. We get 3 for 1 with the B-Ways sisters.
I know.
So talk to us. Let's talk about the film, y'all. Let's talk about the film.
Okay. Well, it's a lot. It's definitely.
It was all our first time watching.
Yeah. So
mine's too.
Yeah. The first 5 minutes is already pretty
intense.
But no, it was really. I think something that I want to focus on a lot is cinematography, and we were talking about the juxtaposition of the what's it called?
The nature and
the nature and the
imagery.
Yeah,
because the nature is so beautiful, and it really kind of contrasts what is going on.
The darkness of what's going on.
Yeah.
From they're on this beautiful farm, or whatever, their scenery, and the sun is setting, but she's getting ripped away from her sister. And I think that's something that Steven Spielberg does really well, is sort of juxtapositioning those two things. And he obviously suspense, as we've seen before in movies like Jaws, he builds suspense in such a wonderful way, and really uses this scenery around him to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's right. We saw Jaws. That's right. Those are the Spielberg movies for sure.
Yeah.
The movie. So your first time watching the film, all of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard about it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard more about the musical because obviously you have
B-Way.
Theater people. Theater.
So I heard a lot about that, and it always interests me, because obviously I always knew it was a powerful story, and obviously I heard the acclaim for the book as well as the musical. So it was always obviously I think it's always one of those names that you're gonna recognize, even if you haven't seen it, you're oh yeah, I've heard of that, or I've heard about people talking about that book. But to be able to actually watch the movie and kind of understand what people are talking about, again, it's nice, and it's definitely, when you watch it, you definitely understand why it's so acclaimed, just because the powerful performance, the powerful directing, and it really does a good job of showcasing so many different people in so many different ways, and kind of showing how they all come together.
The whole movie, you're kind of wondering what's gonna happen next, because have to kind of feel for Celie, because she, she's a state of survival. She's trying to, not anger Albert, and she's trying to just get by after such a traumatic childhood and a traumatic growing up. It's fantastic to me that she was able to turn out into a well-rounded lady with, the strength to fight back and the strength to like at the dinner scene, which was probably my favorite scene in the movie, when she was able to like yell at him and like tell him like, you have never done right by me and all that. So it's good to kind of, it was really good to see her kind of like stand up for herself, especially after like all the trauma she's gone through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes I ask myself, like, what is my reason not working really hard, like every day? Like,
Yeah.
if I am more than that back in the day, she's fighting so much, so hard, just be survive and just make that life better and just make her voice heard. What is my reason not? Like looking back right now, like every day I'm facing to like small obstacles, this, that, and I get like so like stressed. Oh, well, life is too hard.
Look at Celie's life.
And compared to that, look at Celie's like, oh my God, I'm living in a paradise. I should appreciate it and just do more and just keep myself motivated. Like it's such a powerful movie as a woman too. Like
it's so powerful is that like us, we couldn't experience something like that, nor should anyone ever experience like that. But getting to watch a film like this, and why it's important to watch films like this, is to know that things like this happen to people, and we need to go forward. It doesn't happen to anyone ever again.
And
like
it kind of look at your problems and be like, oh, like it's easy to like complain about like the small things, like, oh, I had this really hard test, or like best day, but then you can look at other people that are going through this and be like, people have been going through this for so long, that it takes place in like 1930s, and like happens. It still happens to Black people. It still happens to women, and like it's important to recognize that and see and kind of empathize with them and say, how can we continue to fix this and continue to grow as people? Yeah,
exactly, totally.
I think it's definitely educational, and also, like I said before, it's like it's within us. It's us. It's a Black story, but we've all been all those characters, and we've all felt all those feelings, and not anyone seeing you or people like beating you down. But maybe not to that extent. That was really horrible. And we've been the person, oh my God, we've been the person that have been shitty to other people for no real reason. And it's always horrible to kind of see yourself in these different characters,
Yes, I mean, and still like questioning yourself, like, what should we do as an individual human? Like, we're not going to change, like, you're not going to change the world like in a hot second, but like, what should we do as an individual person? Like, what should we do better? Like, be kind to each other, be respectful.
Also, just like the poetry, all
be,
that.
like nice, like as that's the one we can do as a human to.
Well, in the simplicity of what we're trying to do, like it's the poetry of the movies, like The Color Purple. Like you just want to be sometimes loved. You just want to be beautiful, like The Color Purple. That's all we're trying to be. It's like what? Like oh my God, and all this madness.
Super
you
simple.
Just want to be The Color Purple. Just be beautiful for the sake of being beautiful.
It's not gonna cost anything for us to like being kind to another human being. Like it's not gonna cost anything. Just a like little respect, just a little kindness. That's all. Like it's super simple. After all, we're all human. After all, we all want to love. We all want to be heard. That's it. Like what?
She's passionate about this film, y'all. Sister, passionate. So favorite scenes in the movie, y'all. What's your favorite scenes?
I would say that my favorite scene was the dinner scene. I think it's all of our favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Because obviously you watch this whole movie and you're so angry at like just because the entire time you have so many times where he can be better and so many times where he can change and he never does, and he just keeps getting he just stays that antagonistic person and you can't help but get like super angry at him. So like something that I always love in movies is when like the bad character like gets their dues and like finally someone stands up to them. I mean obviously it's not easy to stand up to people like this, and like I have like it's a hard situation that she's been in, but to finally look at the person that's been tormenting you for so many years and tell them that you've done bad things, like and you cannot. You can't yell at me for doing this because it makes sense after everything that's happened. So that was
that little knife. It was so heavy. The little knife in his neck, and then he was like, "Don't trade places with me. It's not worth it."
Yeah.
He got real such a heavy scene.
Sophia is just the woman. Like if old Sophia was on the table at the time, she probably like yes, do it.
But with Albert's character.
But the Sophia character just changed dramatically, like big contrast. Before she's going to throw into jail and after. It's like mental breakdown, and then she just know what is worth it, what's not.
Yeah, which was nice to see that. But also with Albert's character, Mister's character, I mean, he's a jerk, a piece of the whole movie. But like his father's horrible to him, giving him bad advice. He's giving bad advice to his son Harpo. It's like beat her. It's like this is what happens. Like bad advice gets put to the next person, and then it's just like this cycle. And I don't know what he's doing. Ultimately, the good in man, he comes out and becomes good. But after years of bad advice from his father, giving bad advice to his son, like, what are you guys doing?
You desperately want, like with Harpo, and he's like, how do I deal with Sophia? You want him to break the cycle. You want him to be a good man to his wife, and evidently, at least in the beginning, he's not. And then that's up to his kids and their kids possibly. So you really want someone to break the cycle.
Yeah.
And one of the thing, and I realized, like, after Albert, no, the main lead character who plays
Danny Glover?
Kenny Glover.
Yeah, Albert.
No, Celie.
Oh, Celie.
Celie. She left. Eventually, like, finally she left. And then you see his life.
Yeah.
You can't even taking care of himself. Like,
Yeah.
he can, like, be a good person. Like, be a, like,
he gets it
normal
cleaned
person.
up. He gets it cleaned up after
How
a
he
while.
cleaned up, like, it took him to such a long time. He got, like,
Takes
destroyed.
him a while.
He can't even take. And then you realize, oh my
I'm
God,
not sticking up for him.
man is always a man. Man is always like, someone needs to, like, taking care of the man.
Okay.
From the
There's a lot of
history
women
from
in the
the
stream
back.
right now, and I mean, yes.
Like, why man cannot taking care of himself? Like, yo, just clean the
It
kitchen
takes
and
up time.
make yourself a breakfast.
He got bad advice. He was a jerk. He needs to repent.
And the first scene that Whoopi Goldberg's in when they show the young to old, and you can see just how much the little things she's doing. He's like, "Where's my tie? Where am I?" And she
Yes. And then he's sitting. She's like standing there.
And he doesn't know how to, like, basically live by himself, and he's like, "You're useless." And I'm like, "You don't know how to heat up the stove, right?"
Yeah.
So a lot of men are like that. Like my mom, when we moved to LA from San Francisco, because we live with my grandparents there. We all live in the same house, like that kind of thing, multi-generational. But my grandma said she went to the laundry room. My mom, we had moved to LA to chase acting, and she said my dad was just in the laundry room looking at the washing machine. He was just like, I don't even know how to turn this thing on.
Exactly.
He was just sitting there with the laundry, looking at the laundry machine like, I don't understand. Do I pull this or what's going on here?
Yeah, some men think that's just a woman thing. This kitchen belongs to, like, woman belongs to kitchen. Like, yeah, we run the kitchen. Guess what? We also run the outside world too. Can you run the kitchen for a hot second? No, they can't.
I do okay in the kitchen, by the way, BTW.
Whoa, we'll see.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was his whole hypocrisy was so, you're like, you can't help but scream at the TV again.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And, like, there's so many little things she does, like what we were talking about, like, that he doesn't notice, and, like, you're gonna notice when they're taken away from you, and suddenly you don't know how to cook your own food.
Yeah, like
exactly.
When his pa comes to visit him, you see, like, the animals running everywhere, the kitchens.
Yeah. I love it.
And then like at the dinner he was like, yeah, this house has never been clean since my old wife, and I'm like, how was the house when she first came here?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? You think it's just magically disappeared? Like,
do you guys remember the first shot? She married to the guy, Mr. That came to the house and look at the kitchen, and then and she grabbed the mop and just wiped the wall.
Yeah.
The wall has a fake dust, and there's a flower comes in. The actual color of the wall shows up.
no idea. I have so much respect for her. I think I would just look at that and just be like, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, I would be like, I'm out.
Her spirit and her perseverance through it all, and seeing her go from what she was as a child to persevering into womanhood and to getting to see her kids at the end was just so meaningful and so powerful, as it should be.
Yeah, the sister reunion was also a very touching scene. Like, I had some tears, you know, like, it was a lot to
Hit sisters heavy.
It is hip sisters.
All right, B-Way sisters, thank you so much.
B-Way sisters, we're always fun.
Always a pleasure. Have a good week.
Have a good week. See you guys next week.
All right, man. The B-Way sisters.
Nice.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's bring another person in. We have hashtag purple.
Hashtag
we got another
purple.
person. We'll get another person in before we get the last person. Let's get someone to talk about the color purple. If you watched the movie this week, hashtag
if you didn't watch
purple.
the movie, I will highly recommend it. Watch the movie.
I see someone right here. All right, first person I saw looks like Tasia Marie. Are you in the house? Tasia Marie.
Are you mumbling? What are you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Tasia. Hi.
Tasia.
Hi,
I said it right.
Tasia.
Where are you calling in from, Tasia? It's the first time on the show.
I'm from Pittsburgh with the H.
Yo, Pittsburgh, PA. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Is it cold or what out there? How cold is
It's
it?
cold.
Is it cold?
It's cold. It's
Oh
like
my
20-something degrees, and there's snow outside. Yeah, it's cold.
I do not envy you. I'm glad I'm in LA right now.
I'm jealous, but I'm used to it. I've been here, born and raised.
All right. Shout out to Pittsburgh, you know, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. So, have you watched The Color Purple recently or ever?
Have I watched it? Oh my gosh, I grew up on this movie.
Well, awesome.
I could recite this movie, which I have been in the comments.
No, I love this movie. I watched it when I was younger, obviously when it came out, then watching it now. We've been doing Cinema Club to watch it. Of course, it's Black History Month, but it's been hitting people heavy. Drop
Yeah, it's a heavy story. Yeah, for sure.
Well, tell us about your experience with her, like what anything you want to tell about the movie.
What do you
Well, I mean, I love this. I watched it when I was younger, and then I read the book, and then I sang. I do musical theater as well, so shout out to the Broadway sisters.
Awesome.
I actually have a degree in musical theater, so I sang some of the music from the show. If you want inspiration, go listen to that soundtrack. It's gorgeous, beautiful. But I will say that, like, some of the movie doesn't do justice like the book, because there's some redemption in there for Mister.
Right.
You know, like, he's this horrible person. You already said it, like the trauma and the cycle of his dad passing it down, and but he breaks it because he decides to do something right, to right his wrong. Either if it was to break Celie's curse or not, but still he decides to return the letter and, you know, get her sister and family to come back. But in the actual book, they become friends. Like, Celie and Mister become friends. So she forgives him. Yeah. So there's, like, some redemption there. It just proves that, like, Celie is not a malicious person at all. Like, she is just a saint.
She became if I was her, I'm sorry, I say that. I don't want to be friends with the person who treats me like that.
You would have killed him the first time you shaved him. You would have just sliced his jugular, like Alice would have been like, "Oh, you need to shave it."
Right. It's like V for Vendetta. Like, no.
Because I'm Sophia. Because I'm Sophia, I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, don't give Sophia blame, because Mister would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like the heartbreak that each of these women experience, like, it really is the plight of the Black woman. I mean, all three of these characters can be wrapped up into an experience of one Black woman, but it's broken down into a story of three. But it just goes to show, like, just kind of like what you were saying, this isn't new, it's not old, it's still happening in the world. And we just have to look at it, because nowadays it's kind of turned into, like, microaggressions and, you know, killing, police brutality, all of that. So, like, in this story, the women were not protected at all. There was nowhere they could go for protection.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
No.
I mean, they had to protect each other, and they weren't always right. Like when she said to beat Sophie. I mean, saw the reality.
Because that's what
she's like, I can't believe you just told.
And even saying stuff where she's like, you know, there's the old religious myth, but, like, you know, this life is short.
Right, it'll soon be over.
Right. This life, and you'll be good in the afterlife. They're like, I ain't into all that. You know, that's what they're trying to tell us. I mean, there's so many things they touched on in the movie that hit hard.
Yeah. That's the spiritual. They touched on spirituality. They touched on sexism. They touched on sexuality too. Like,
that's even as a kid, and even watching now, I was like, "Oh, it's like what's popping right now? What's happening?"
Right, Suge, and then even like Celie, she didn't know. She thought she was a placeholder for attention for somebody to just, you know, use her. She had no idea.
Like, what is she like? What's going on? You know?
Like, one of the sentence, like, conversations, Sissy, and then, what is that singer's name?
Suge.
They were like talking. She said, like, what do you mean? Just like lay down there and then let him do his business. Like, why you like? That sounds like you're a toilet.
Yeah.
What do you mean the business?
Yeah. But she didn't know any better. because
Yeah.
of all of the abuse that she had.
She was
from,
raped as a
you know,
child by her father, it was stepfather.
And she accept that reality. She just like, okay,
Yeah.
I think this is my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like the humor in it. I think that also is telling of the story of being Black or just being a person of color in America. Like there is humor in our suffering just
Right.
so we could survive.
Right.
I mean, if just Black people are pretty like comical without even trying to be, because it's a survival tactic, you know? But I think my favorite scene is when Suge goes back to the church and they're all singing and her dad is like, she's like, see, Dad, sinners come home. And, you know, they go from the juke joint and they're going down, marching down to the church.
That was real Steven Spielberg moment. I'm like,
and that's really
how did you do that, Steven? How far is this juke joint? What the hell's going on?
It's kind of musical part too. That part is like super.
It was like a musical. It was like
stage,
a musical.
Stage performing, like it's you. Even though it's musical, but you can see and you can feel that like conflict between the father and the daughter, and then just like come through. Finally, they just like let go everything, just hug and loved. It's so.
And it reminded me of the whole movie in a sense. It reminded me of a movie we watched recently, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which y'all should see out there, which is out right now on Netflix.
Yeah,
it's a good one. That's a tough one too.
And Chadwick Boseman, they do amazing performances, but you know, it's the blues. Like it's the blues. Like the movies, you know, you wonder why African Americans would help create what became rock and roll, what became pop music, which is based in the blues, and it's the blue. It's trading. It's the color purple. It's making something beautiful out of this nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Out of sorrow. Out of
utter the deepest, darkest pain. You don't have nothing but to laugh about it.
Survive.
Make something beautiful, and it's like
make some beautiful.
That's the blues. That's why it's like other people try to do the blues. Like no, this is where it comes from. This is how it was created, and you have to respect that and love that as an artist, as a person of color in America. You understand like the things that they think make us weak are actually the things that actually makes us stronger.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the color purple itself, the meaning, the theme, and the essence of that story is just recognizing the beauty that you overlook. Yeah. You know, Celie is the color purple. Like she doesn't even realize God sees her too, and Suge tries to get her to see that, like, hey, God sees even the littlest flower, you know, the color purple. It's so radiant. It's so beautiful. We take it for granted. But I mean, like, it's like a flower. We grow wherever. Like a flower grows no matter where it is. It might not be nourished that well, but it will grow, even in concrete, you know? So.
Exactly. So true.
Tasia, thank you so much for
so much for joining us and
having me. Thank you for doing this movie. I'm glad that people that never saw it have got to watch it. It's such a good classic. I love it.
It is classic.
And because I'm gonna tell you we got one more person we're bringing up, but before we do, we're gonna tell you the movie for next week. We're gonna continue every month, and because it's so heavy, we're gonna move something a little funnier. And we're gonna do a movie called Blazing Saddles.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
Have you heard of it?
All right.
Check out Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks film. But it's funny. It's a comedy, and we're gonna
it's a little, yeah.
Tasia, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Okay, amazing. So you guys heard it. Next week, Blazing Saddles. We're gonna flip the drama to something funny. And the last guest, VIP guest. Where we going?
There's a VIP. Where's a VIP? Wait.
Where is it?
This one.
What's the name? Larkin.
I-N. That's the last name, don't they?
What's the name?
Right there, right?
Oh, it's Holly.
Holly,
are you here? Holly? You're our last guest.
Saw her.
Hit us. It won't bring you in from here. Oh, here you go.
Here.
I am here. And here you are. Here we are. Boom. Holly is back.
Holly is back.
Holly, you're back.
Hi.
How are you doing? Where are you calling in from again?
Reno, Nevada.
That's right. Reno, Nevada. Talk to us about some color purple.
Color purple.
Yeah, the color purple back.
Purple. I'm in my room right now.
I love it. Was it your first time watching the movie?
The first time, yes, fully. I've seen like clips of it here and there, but never from start to finish.
Oh, awesome. So how did you feel? How did talk to us? How did it make you feel?
I mean, I did better than you, Alice. I didn't cry, but I did get choked up.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Better than you. Especially the ending. That's where at that point I almost cried, but I held it together.
What are your favorite characters in the movie?
Celie, obviously, just because she deals with a lot of shit, and it's unreal. But she gets her happy ending.
Thank God. We'd all be still crying if she didn't get that happy ending. We'd be like,
I know.
What the hell's the point?
I'll get depressed. So honestly, I will get depressed rest of at least a month.
Yeah.
If we don't have an ending.
Yeah. And then her, oh God, what was that other character's name? Her friend, that singer that she kind of gets pretty.
Avery.
Yeah. And then Sophie.
Sophie is amazing.
Sophia is my favorite character.
Think about this. When Oprah Winfrey did this movie, again, this was a star maker for Oprah Winfrey too. I think she already had a show. Her show wasn't that big coming out of Chicago, and she didn't even get, her own card. Like that means she was like in a card with like a supporting role in the movie, which means you're brand new, Yeah. You don't even have you're not even getting starring Oprah Winfrey. Like she's with a group of other people, and she went from that to the richest woman, one of the richest women in the world.
Yeah.
That's how powerful she is, Sophia. She has that power, and it came through the character.
When I'm googling the movie Color Purple, her name came the first before Steven Spielberg.
Oprah Winfrey is, literally, she went from a supporting, quote unquote, supporting character in the movie to someone who's eye to eye with Steven Spielberg as just a figure, powerhouse in the world, which is amazing.
Yeah. And when I saw he's directed, I was happy because I grew up with a lot of his movies, like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, of course.
And E.T. E.T.
Of course, I love E.T. We gotta do E.T. I love E.T.
Even though, not gonna lie, when I was little, it freaked me out when I was a kid. I don't know why it just did. I never watched it when I was little because it freaked me out so bad. I don't know why it just did.
Yeah. Well, I see it. Denise says Oprah Winfrey owns Harpo Studios. Her production studio company is named Harpo. And that's her husband. She says Harpo. But also Harpo's Oprah backwards.
Oprah?
Hold on.
Spelled that.
Harpo, yes, it is.
Crazy.
Go.
She's like,
Tell her.
Sorry. It's my mom. She doesn't understand who I'm talking to.
No worries. So let me know.
Who are you talking to?
We're talking to people in LA. Great. Tell us your favorite, before we go, tell us your favorite scene in the movie.
Ooh, the ending, but I also liked when Celie finally finds the letters from her sister.
God.
And it's she reads them, and it's she's not, because she thought, oh, my sister's dead, but she's not dead. She actually was alive. And
why would you do that to somebody? Why would you do that to somebody?
That scene,
She only has a little bit of happiness in her life, and you're going to just take it from her? That's all the happiness she has in her whole damn life?
Because he didn't get the happiness. He didn't get what he wants, so that's why. He didn't get what he wants, and then he's not happy. So you know what? Since I'm not happy, I'm just making the rest of people miserable too.
Just piss me off.
Even though Danny Glove is a good actor, I saw him in Angels in the Outfield, that Disney movie.
Great, he's great.
That's one of my favorite movies, and he's so excellent in that.
He's excellent in this movie, but for the wrong reason.
Yeah, but he's such a jerk.
I know. Oh,
and then I did like the kitchen scene where she just points and then sits there. It's dude, you're not very good at the kitchen, are you?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Very, very classic.
It is.
Yeah,
and she sits there on the chair, just holding her face, just look at it. It's super cute, super realistic. It's just now you what? Now what? You're a powerful man. You think you can't win.
You're gonna make crappy food.
And you're making a crappy food. You explode the entire kitchen. And you're so
good. Holly, thank you for calling in.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. This has kept my mind insane.
Oh, well.
To be honest.
Next week's Blazing Saddles, and tell your mom I said hi.
Okay.
Say hi to her.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, you guys. That was The Color Purple. Thank you for joining us.
Short, an hour.
Thank you for joining us for Monday Cinema Club. This was a big one.
This is a big one, and I would love to talk to everybody in the chat.
This one's been talking about. She's very moved by the. Me too. I'm also moved.
Are you though?
Yeah. How come we just talk to all women today too? Ain't no men gotta drop no knowledge on them.
Men just shut down. Like they're like, I don't want to talk about anything because we can't do it yet.
That's why I'm like, it was just for the men talking and apologizing for our transgressions over the years.
No, don't be apologizing.
I will apologize because some of us have been assholes.
Well, I mean, I know that's true. Some people doesn't learn, but what are we gonna do? We just have to be kind, be nice, and just help on one another. It's not gonna take nothing. It's not gonna cost anything. This is only thing being a better human being. That's all.
But thank you for. We loved the movie this week. Everyone loved the movie. Very, very powerful.
Highly recommended if you didn't watch it. And then some people asking what's going on in this chat. We're just watching film and then we're talking about the film. So Color Purple, highly recommended.
Color Purple. And if you guys also want to watch on Netflix right now, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, also, I definitely recommend that movie.
I do too.
Amazing. The late Chadwick Boseman, outstanding performance, and the impeccable Viola Davis. Amazing. So, see you guys next week.
Next week.
Blazing Saddles.
Have
fun.
Blazing
Saddles. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. We'll see. We'll talk about it next. We'll continue this conversation next week. See y'all next week.
See y'all next week. Bye.